South Park: The Stick of Truth proved to be one of the most faithful video game adaptations, with its authentic visuals, shocking humor, and a catchy battle system that took a page from the Paper Mario series. With the newest entry, The Fractured But Whole, Ubisoft hopes that lightning can strike twice, trading out the RPG masters over at Obsidian for their own internal studio. This sequel rekindles much of the same magic, but it doesn't quite surpass the original effort.
Okay, new kid, it's really simple. When you want to talk about your sex, you can start by simply saying, I'm a boy or a girl or other.
South Park prides itself on its topical humor and bold jokes that often test the limits of what our culture deems acceptable. This holds true in The Fractured But Whole, but with the writers taking aim at many current issues including the Black Lives Matter movement, the LGBTQ community, neo-Nazis, and police corruption.
Let's welcome this thing to our town.
It's all done under the guise of spoofing the superhero craze that's captured pop culture over the past 2 decades, with the lovable 4th graders stepping into the leading roles once again as they duke it out to see which rival faction will secure their franchise's future. This has always been Matt Stone and Trey Parker's MO with the series, to embed meaningful commentary behind a surface-level joke that sometimes pushes us beyond our comfort zones.
Fast Pass, I need you to use your superhuman speed to get to the mayor's office and tell her we're on the case.
Don't worry, Coon. You can count on Fast Pass to get there fast.
Meanwhile, like The Stick of Truth before it, The Fractured But Whole fully embraces South Park's rich history, and veteran fans will find more than a few nods to previous episodes, some of which play a crucial part in the game's main storyline.
Everyone's dad fucked everyone's mom.
Huh?
That's how it works, stupid. Our dads fucked our moms.
Oh, right. So does that mean your dad fucked your mom, Cal? Huh?
For the most part, the jokes hit their marks, but the writing isn't quite as funny this second time around. Perhaps it's just the fact that it's already been done so well before, or maybe the series has just been around for too long. It's still head and shoulders above most anything else in the gaming industry, but the game, like the past few seasons of the show, is showing signs of inconsistency.
That's it. The DJ calls the bitches names, and then the bitches come out of that back room. Nuke, we need to find a way to distract the DJ.
Part of the reason it falls a bit short is due to the early pacing of the game. The story unfolds over several days as you join your friends as the new kid once again, with a load of story missions and side objectives to accomplish each day. Once night falls, you proceed into a cleverly masked dungeon sequence with enemy encounters and a boss battle. The structure is simple enough, but the opening few hours are incredibly slow, serving as a glorified tutorial. The objectives and activities are rather dull when compared to the rest of the game, which eventually gets its act together and moves forward at a more enjoyable pace. With the game clocking in at around 20 hours, it could have done more to trim the fat.
I'ma sit on you till your eyes pop out of your head, honey.
Scanning through every chest, drawer, and trash can to pick up materials, consumables, and other items also gets tedious rather quickly. It could just be that some of the charm and wonder of exploring a fully realized South Park has worn off, but it feels like more than a case of deja vu.
Oh, hell no. I ain't getting mixed up in this combat shit.
Thanks to the large roster of characters and ever-evolving mechanics, combat becomes the highlight of the game. Instead of the more traditional turn-based system found in The Stick of Truth, here the developers have implemented a more tactical grid-based battle system, essentially making it a very light strategy RPG. It starts off very simple and never really aspires to be anything too complex, but the payoff is that combat feels fast-paced and rewarding. The banter between characters in battle also provides a modicum of humor, as do many of the attacks and their elaborate animations, but the real showstoppers are the ridiculous sequences that make up ultimate attacks.
君の力を僕にちょうだい。あ、二人で一緒に行こう。溢れ出したエロスは一つとなり世界を目指す。
It also feels like just the right amount of enemy encounters too, though if you really feel the need to grind, enemies will respawn on the map eventually. The Fractured But Whole isn't particularly difficult, though there are a few decent spikes near the end. However, if you don't do enough prep work to get ready for major fights, it is possible to get easily overwhelmed. Neglecting to occasionally swap in better gear, forgetting to configure your party to suit conditions, or failing to bring enough recovery items will make progress harder than it should be. But unless you bump it to the highest difficulty setting, you won't encounter too much resistance. This is further evident by the fact that the only penalty for failure is being sent back to right before the fight you lost. The Fractured But Whole once again nails the look and feel of South Park, and it's still remarkable to see how well it keeps up the act. As for the soundtrack, it's got all the right themes to accompany each ridiculous situation, but it's nothing special. The voice talent is up to the task again, helping to preserve your complete immersion into their world.
Oh, shit, y'all just want a cat.
The game can suffer from some technical inconsistencies. Walking between screens is usually instantaneous and smooth, but often a jarring loading screen sticks in for a bit too long. During battles, combat animations and changing turns can get held up for a few moments, which gets distracting. We also encountered a strange glitch that temporarily prevented us from progressing until we reloaded an earlier checkpoint. It's possible a patch will resolve all this for launch, but these issues were all present during our playthrough for the review.
Buttlord's really giving him shit. Bum rush him.
It's clear that the Fractured Butthole has a few issues that could have been ironed out prior to release, which is surprising given the game's delays. However, like the Stick of Truth before it, this game absolutely nails the look and feel of the show. Overall, it's a slightly weaker effort than its predecessor, but it's still one of the funniest games out there.
Give me my fucking keys! Wait, how long have I been on fire? Jesus!
Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to see our other videos. And consider becoming a patron to help us make more.
Stand back, sidekick. I'll take care of this.
Hey, what'd I do? I'll get those keys right after this short little nap.
Good night, Mr. Marsh.